what were you doing before you started your YouTube channel? I'm curious.
I was a, it's even harder to explain than being a YouTuber. I was an expert in medieval economies and coinage.
Mm.
And I also had a side business as a violin maker. So I've never really been a very normal guy as far as jobs go.
What the violin maker thing is a podcast all on its own.
Yes, I apprenticed as a violin maker instead of going to college. And I that I did that for 20 years. Over
That's
20 years, 21 years.
interesting. I pegged you as a PhD, to be honest. I'm like, oh, this guy must have. That's awesome. Wow. So we learned something new. So you start this YouTube channel because, from what I understand, the story is there was something in the science news there wasn't a lot of content on YouTube about it, and you wanted to create content about it.
That's correct. I had been, this would be, cast your mind back to the first few months of 2016. And I was thinking, I had a novel out already. And I was like, how do I promote that thing? And your agents and all that will tell you, well, you got to get social media going and all this. And I'm like, what social media could I do? And it was YouTube. And I was going to start a science fiction channel and just talk about general science fiction and the history of it and all that. But I thought that probably wouldn't be that huge if I did that. Well, at the time, there was a story in the news about a star, Tabby star, or KIC 8462852. And the star was behaving very strangely. It still is, but it was behaving extremely strangely in light curves taken by the Kepler spacecraft, to the point that it was on the table that it might be some sort of alien megastructure that was orbiting the star, which should block light in a similar way, if they were building a partial Dyson sphere or something like that. And I went looking on YouTube for content about it because I was fascinated with it. And I found nothing but alien claims and UFO claims, and nothing was correct. It was just sensationalist stuff that was being put up for monetization and making wild claims that it was an alien megastructure. So I thought, okay, well, how about I do an overview of what we actually know based on the scientific papers? And I very carefully point out that it was never very likely to be aliens. It was just likely to be something we have just never seen before that was astrophysical in nature, which is what it is. So that's what started it. And I thought, well, I'll get 300 views, something like that, maybe some subscribers, and I'll plug the book and maybe sell a few copies. And then it broke 100,000 views, and I was like, uh-oh.
How long
Well,
did it take to break 100K?
less than a month.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it went viral. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I got something. So I made other videos in succession, and the channel just kept growing and growing and growing. And right now I've got videos that have surpassed 2 million views. And then I've got 280,000 subscribers on one channel, and then 200,000 subscribers on the other. So it just grew from there. But I backed into it. I didn't really anticipate that I would have anything other than a loyal, following of a few handful of people that like my books.